Before America was even a nation, before freedom was a word written in any law, there was a boy torn from his home, sold for a price, and forced across an ocean of despair. His name was Bertier Furrow. But the world would come to know him as Venture Smith, the African giant who fought his way through bondage and bought not only his own freedom, but that of his entire family.
Extraordinary natural ability, and he was also trained to be a leader.
This is not just a story of slavery. This is a story of courage, cunning, and the indomitable will to be free. In the year 1729, in the region once known as Dukandara in modern-day Ghana, a boy named Bertier was born to a local prince. His father was a respected leader, a man of wealth, power, and deep love for his family.
Venture's story is the iconic story of the Middle Passage because it's the one clear 18th century one. There's no question he was born in Africa, and he tells us about it.
But peace never lasts long in the age of greed.
Before a message was brought to my father by an inhabitant of the place where I lived the preceding year. That place had been invaded by an army.
When Bertier was about 6 years old, their village was attacked by raiders, part of a growing slave trade that reached deep into Africa. He was captured, chained, and marched for hundreds of miles toward the coast. He would never see his homeland again. He was placed aboard a slave ship bound for Barbados and later taken to Rhode Island. The voyage, brutal, dehumanizing, and deadly. Many perished, but Bertier survived.
Almost 30 years, Smith was enslaved by various men in Long Island and in Connecticut. During this time, he worked numerous side jobs until he managed to save enough money.
In the English colonies, Bertier was sold to a merchant named Robinson Mumford. It was here that his name was changed from Bertier Furrow to Venture. The name came from his master's venture in purchasing him. To his owner, he was an investment. To himself, he was a man trapped in another man's business. Even as a child, Venture towered above others, strong, disciplined, and proud. He chopped wood, carried loads, and endured punishment without breaking.
In the course of the day, speak with authority, and commands me very arrogantly to quit my present business.
My young master, that he might do what he pleased with me. He took me to the gallows made for the purpose of hanging cattle on, and suspended me on it, and cut him 3 dozens of whips to punish me with.
But one day, when beaten unjustly, he struck back a dangerous act of defiance that nearly cost him his life.
Most biting stroke on the crown of my head with a club 2 feet long and as large round as a chair post. This blow very badly wounded my head, and the scar of it remains to this day. Therefore, as soon as he went to renew it, I snatched the club out of his hands and dragged him out of the door.
He learned an important lesson. Strength could keep you alive, but wisdom could one day make you free. By the 1740s, Venture was living in Fisher's Island, New York, and later in Stonington, Connecticut, working as a farm laborer, fisherman, and carpenter. He was not a man of meekness. Venture was over 6 feet tall, broad-shouldered, and intimidating, even to white overseers. He fell in love with a woman named Meg, also enslaved. Together, they would dream of freedom, a dream that seemed impossible, yet they whispered it every night before sleep. Freedom, for Venture, wasn't just a wish. It was a plan, and it began with one powerful idea of buying his own freedom.
But after 25 years as a slave, Smith was able to purchase his freedom, in addition to that of his wife, children, and several others.
In 1754, Venture struck a deal with his master. If he could pay 71 pounds and 2 shillings, he would be free. That was a small fortune, nearly impossible for any enslaved person, but Venture was determined. He fished, chopped wood, traded goods, and even sold livestock. He was cheated, robbed, and betrayed by those who feared a free black man with money. Venture Smith, I was obliged to take the law in my own hands. I fought with my enemies,
Left my
and I
master,
conquered.
took the club he wounded me with, carried it to a neighboring justice of the peace, and complained of my master, and lived contented with him till he abused me again, and then complained. I consented to do so accordingly. Up he come, and his brother Robert after me, one before and the other behind me. When they had come to a by place, they both dismounted their respective horses and fell to beating me with great violence. Immediately turned them both under me, laid one of them across the other, and stamped both with my feet.
Venture was not just strong in body, but in spirit. He endured imprisonment, lashes, and humiliation. Yet, he refused to break. Finally, after years of relentless labor and suffering, he walked to his master's home with the money in hand. And for the first time in 30 years, Venture Smith was a free man. But freedom alone wasn't enough. Venture's wife Meg and his children were still enslaved. He vowed to save them all no matter the cost. He worked night and day, cutting timber, hauling boats, and farming the rocky Connecticut soil. One by one, Venture bought his family's freedom, paying more than $2,000 in total, an unimaginable sum for a man born into slavery. He built a home in East Haddam, the first black landowner in the region. He grew crops, raised livestock, and became respected by both black and white neighbors
Then
alike.
goes on to trade and do business with the very people who had
In
owned him in the
1798,
past.
Venture Smith dictated his life story to a local school teacher, creating one of the earliest known slave
But after
narratives in
25
American
years
history.
as a slave, Smith was able to purchase his freedom, in addition to that of his wife, children, and several
My
others.
freedom is a privilege which nothing else can equal. Though it has cost me many a struggle, it is more than a recompense for all my toil.
At the pinnacle of his success, Smith owned 3 houses in the East Haddam area, 130 acres of land, 20 ships, a dry dock warehouse, and he also built homes for his children.
He lived to see his children free, his land prosperous, and his story spread across the colonies. When he died in 1805, he left behind a powerful message that liberty is not given. It is earned through courage, sacrifice, and will. If you've been moved by the true story of Venture Smith, remember every voice lost to history deserves to be heard again. Like, subscribe, and share this story so that his legacy and the legacy of countless others continues to live on. Comment below which forgotten hero or hidden story you want to hear next. We might just tell it.